Seems like every week things just keep getting worse for Joe Biden. Joe Biden's sister, Valerie, sent millions of Joe's campaign dollars to her own consulting firm. And even more bad news for the Bidens, as Joe is begging for backup from his own supporters online at the same time that a Democrat senator is now admitting that Hunter Biden would be a relevant witness in the impeachment trial. For a while now, a ton of top Democrats have been panicking at the idea that Hunter Biden may be forced to testify in the impeachment trial. Joe Biden had claimed that there was zero rationale for his son to testify during the inquiry. Senator Chuck Schumer also has been desperately trying to stop Hunter Biden from being forced to testify. Jerry Nadler is also another top Democrat who has been doing everything that he can to help Hunter Biden avoid testimony. So Biden, Schumer, and Nadler, along with other top Democrats, are all probably not very happy after learning this news that one of their fellow Democrats, Senator Joe Manchin, is admitting today that Hunter Biden would be a relevant witness in President Trump's impeachment trial. In response to the question on whether Hunter Biden should be forced to testify in the impeachment trial, the West Virginia Democrat said, quote, "I think so. I really do. I don't have a problem there because this is why we are where we are. Now, I think that he can clear himself, what I know and what I've heard, but being afraid to put anybody that might have pertinent information is wrong, no matter if you're a Democrat or Republican." Meanwhile, Joe Biden is having his own Jeb Bush moment as the Biden 2020 campaign is now begging his supporters to defend him against online attacks from Bernie Sanders supporters. Quote, "With less than a week before the Iowa caucuses, the Biden campaign expressed concern on a call to its supporters that Sanders people were getting ugly and it had to step up its game defending the vice president." As all of this news surrounding Joe Biden has been going on, a set of new reports further details the Biden family corruption. A popular article just posted yesterday adds more details on how Joe Biden's sister Valerie sent millions of dollars from Joe's campaign to her own consulting firm. Valerie Biden Owens, the sister of former Vice President Joe Biden, who served as the campaign manager for his past presidential campaigns, directed $2.5 million from Citizens for Biden and Biden for President Incorporated to her own consulting firm during her brother's 2008 presidential bid alone. Her role as a senior partner in the political messaging firm Slade White and Company coincided with her participation in Biden's various political campaigns. She was only one of two executives, the other being Joe Slade White at the firm, and has remained the executive vice president for 15 years. However, the lines between her role as leading her brother's political campaigns and working at the firm blurred as the firm received large fees from the Biden campaigns that Valerie was running. A new book called Profiles in Corruption reveals, quote, that the firm received large fees from the Biden campaigns that Valerie was running. $2.5 million in consulting fees flowed to her firm from Citizens for Biden and Biden for President Incorporated during the 2008 presidential bid alone. Keep in mind that Joe Slade White and Company worked for Biden campaigns over 18 years. The report demonstrates a pattern of complex, albeit largely unknown dynamics of the Biden family and the financial benefits received, which purportedly stem from the presidential hopeful's varying positions in government throughout his life. These are not a few disparate enterprises, but rather money-making ventures that appear to be part of a well-organized family business, profiles and corruption details. Biden has previously denied, particularly on the campaign trail, the allegations that his family members have cashed out in various ways over the course of his political career. Quote, "I've never discussed with my son or my brother or anyone else anything having to do with their businesses, period," Biden told reporters in August 2019, amid further allegations of his family members using his political leverage for personal gain. As we will see, this is an impossibility, the book's author writes. Valerie Biden continues to play a role in her brother's campaign. She recently gave an interview where Biden Owens said that her brother's biggest challenge in the race is to remain above the fray. Joe Biden's sister said, quote, "This is a toxic environment. He's baited all the time, and with the frontrunner, you become the focus from your fellow competitors and from the White House. The White House personifies, exemplifies meanness, toxicity, hypocrisy, and what they have been trying to do is poke the bear, which is Joe, because he's a threat to this president." She adds that her brother needs to meet as many voters as he possibly can. She believes that once people meet Biden, they will respect him and want to elect him. So these new reports concerning Joe Biden's sister further adds to the many controversies surrounding Joe at the moment. It's becoming even more obvious why the Bidens are so desperate to stop Hunter from being forced to testify. Definitely a lot more corruption going on in the Biden family that could still be exposed through that testimony. And in another possible signal of desperation, Democrat presidential contender Joe Biden reaffirmed this week his desire to have former First Lady Michelle Obama be his running mate. Quote, "I sure would like Michelle Obama to be the vice president," Biden said Tuesday at a campaign stop in Iowa. The comment came after the former vice president was asked if he would consider nominating former President Barack Obama to the Supreme Court. Biden said, "Yeah, I would, but I don't think he'd do it. He'd be a great Supreme Court justice," Biden responded. Joe has actually been so unhinged lately that even some mainstream outlets have now started asking, why does Joe Biden keep losing his cool with voters? Joe Biden started freaking out at another voter this week who asked him a question. Biden responded, telling him to go vote for someone else. And just during the time that I've been recording this video, a set of new articles have come out further detailing Ashley Biden's corruption. Joe Biden's daughter, Ashley Biden's organization, received $166,000 in federal grants while her father was vice president. Delaware nonprofit organization received $166,000 in federal grants about the same time that it appointed then Vice President Joe Biden's daughter as executive director. In September of 2014, the Delaware Center for Justice was selected for a competitive 2-year grant by the U.S. Department of Justice through the federal Edward Byrne Memorial Grant Program, which Biden helped steer significant funding to as vice president and senator. His daughter, Ashley Biden, 38 years old, had been associate director of the Delaware Center for Justice for about a year at the time. 2 months after the grant selection, the nonprofit organization announced that she would be promoted to executive director. The National Legal and Policy Center, a government watchdog group, said the timing raised questions about whether Biden's position as vice president and as an advocate for the program had any influence on the selection process. quote, "The timing of the grant approval and his daughter's ascent to leadership in the organization that received it makes it necessary for the agencies involved to investigate whether Biden improperly used his influence to steer this grant to his daughter." The DOJ grant was a significant portion of the Delaware Center for Justice's revenue, according to its annual reports. The prior year, the group brought in a total of $768,305 in revenue. That increased to over $1.5 million, according to the 2015 report, due to an uptick in both government funding and foundation grants. Ashley Biden's salary also saw a bump in comparison with the prior executive director. The previous director was paid $71,000 in 2013 and $69,000 in 2014, according to tax records. Ashley Biden's starting salary was $82,000, although that also corresponded with stronger revenues for the organization. Attempts to contact Ashley Biden were not successful, and the Biden campaign did not respond to requests for comment. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think about anything going on with the Bidens, Ashley Biden, Valerie Biden, Hunter or Joe, or any other connections that you may think of. Tell me what you think in a comment. If you could give this video a thumbs up, that's greatly appreciated, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Thanks everybody that has been sharing these videos and sharing the channel to help get the info out there. And down in the video description are links to my Patreon or PayPal accounts where you can support this channel directly. Patreon.com/realityreader or paypal.me/realityreader. I'll follow up soon. Thanks again.